Hi, welcome back. My name is Maritza. This is another Literacy Through Art virtual class. Today I thought it would be fun to do an indoor treasure hunt that you guys can make on your own. I always loved making treasure hunts for my brother's birthdays when he was a kid. And I thought that I would do the same for him today and show you guys how to write clues for a treasure hunt and how to make paper look old and wrinkled and cool. I made some examples for you guys. You can see that the paper is frayed and kind of brown and looks older than just normal paper. So what you guys are gonna need for this project is blank paper. Just printer paper is fine. You're gonna need something to write the clues with. You are going to need tea bags and hot water. I boiled some tea with just a little bit of water in here earlier. And a small gift or treat or something that can be your treasure at the end of the hunt. First I'm gonna show you guys how to make the paper look like this. What you're gonna do is take a blank piece of paper and just crumple it into a ball. The tighter the better. And then uncrumple. You can see it looks kind of wrinkly. And then what you're gonna do is just rip it into pieces. You can rip it however you want, but I suggest that you leave pieces big enough so you could write clues on them and not have to write really small. So I made 5 pieces just now. And what I'm gonna do now is kind of tear the edges a little bit, maybe rip off a corner, crumple one edge more than the rest of the paper just to make it look frayed and tattered, because the more rips, the more old it looks. So I have papers that look like this. Let me rip off the straight edge here because that makes it look more modern. You can make little rips like this along the edge. It kind of makes a cool effect if you guys can see that. And then after you do that and you're satisfied with the pieces that you tore for your clues, this is when you're gonna take your tea bag. And you should let it sit in the water for a little bit so that it gets darker the longer. I don't know if you guys can see it, but the longer you leave the, oh, I spilled. The longer that you leave the tea bag in the hot water, the darker it's gonna get and the cooler it's gonna look on your paper. So what you're gonna do now is take some of your paper, take the tea bag, make sure the water is not too hot because you don't want to burn yourself. Take the tea bag and kind of dab it on the paper. And I sometimes drag it across. I'll show you guys what I'm doing in just a second. And it's already looking older. So the paper kind of looks like this. I don't know if you can tell in this lighting, but it's a lot yellower than regular paper was. You can just let the tea drip over if you want. That also makes a cool effect. Sometimes I break the tea bag because the leaves inside spill out onto the paper and makes it look like this, which is also cool. So make sure you cover your entire paper with the tea and the tea leaves. It's gonna look like that. I'm not gonna do it with the rest of the paper that I made just to save time, but when you've drenched all your paper in tea, you have to let it dry before you write any clues on it. It should be dry in about an hour. So after you let it dry, then you can write your clues on it. But while you're waiting for it to dry, brainstorm about what kind of clues that you want to write. For a treasure hunt, you want to write clues that will lead you to the next clue and eventually lead you to the treasure. Your treasure can be anything. It can be a book, it can be something you made, it can be a letter, it can be candy that you have in your kitchen. So I'm going to show you some of the clues that I made to give you an idea, and then afterwards give you some tips for your own clues. The first one that I wrote for my brother is behind the looking glass. In this case, I mean the mirror, because mirrors are made of glass and they're reflective. So he would go to check behind the mirror and he would find this clue. When you feel cold, you're getting hotter. In this case, I'm referring to the refrigerator because I don't know if you guys know the game hot and cold. When you are trying to look for something, sometimes people say, oh, you're cold, and that means that you're moving away from where the object is hidden, and when you're hot, it means you're getting close. So in this case, it's kind of a play on words. When you're getting cold, which means when you open the fridge, you're actually getting hotter because the clue is in the fridge. For the next clue, I wrote, for number 1, guys put me up and girls put me down. For number 2, they both keep me down. What am I? I am referring to the toilet seat in this one. I don't know if you guys got that. Because number 1 and number 2 for the bathroom. And guys put me up for number 1 and girls put me down for number 2, but guys and girls both leave the toilet seat down for number 2. So I went over those to give you guys some ideas about what the clues could be about. I suggest that you write the clues leading them to places or objects in your house, like the kitchen, the bathroom, the sink, under somebody's pillow, or a specific book in your house. I also, your clues don't have to be like mine. I wanted to make them sort of like riddles to give my brother a challenge. Yours don't have to be riddles. They can be rhymes. Like one that I wrote says, if you're thirsty, have a drink, grab a cup, and head to the blank. So you're supposed to fill in the blank using something that rhymes with drink. In this case is sink. So you use the rhyme to help you figure out where the next clue is, and you would head to the sink. You can also just say like, oh, go check in your room. And then the person doing the treasure hunt would go and check in their room for the next clue. It doesn't have to be mysterious or super clever or difficult, because it's fun to make these clues anyway, and it's fun for a family member to do them, whether or not they are really like thinking hard about what the clues mean. So you should make sure that your clues only lead to places in your house, because it's not safe to go out. You can make them rhyme. You can do the what am I types of clues like I did in my toilet seat clue. You can tell them where to go. You can use rhymes. And one thing that is important to remember is where you how to hide the clues correctly. So if I use the clue that's about the refrigerator, this clue does not go in the refrigerator. this is the clue that you find before heading to the refrigerator. So your first clue has to be one that you give to the person who's doing the treasure hunt. So in this case, it's behind the looking glass. So I'm gonna give this to my brother when he comes down to play, and he's gonna figure it out, the mirror. He's gonna look behind the mirror, and he's gonna find the second clue, which is about the fridge. So behind the mirror, you find the clue about the fridge. You head to the fridge, and you find the clue in the fridge about the toilet seat. And then it eventually leads you to the treasure. I am going to hide the first clue for my brother to give you guys an example and show you how he does it. And then I will sign off. I'm gonna go hide it behind the mirror before he gets down. Let's hope it stays up there. Nikita?
Yeah?
Okay, here we go. Say hi.
Hi.
This is my brother, Nikita. He's gonna be doing the treasure hunt that I made. And here is your first clue. Can you read it out loud, please?
Behind the looking glass. So I'm thinking that's gonna be a mirror because, of course, it's made out of glass and you can see yourself.
Okay. So, thank you, Nikita, for your help. We're gonna finish this later, but I'm going to sign off this first. So, use the tea bags to make the paper look old, and crumple it up to make it look wrinkly, because it's more fun if your clues look like this and not like a regular sheet of paper. I will post instructions and inspiration for clues on Artsier's blog under educational resources. Thank you guys for tuning in.